Are you doing everything right? Eating clean, staying active, taking your supplements, and still feeling like something is off? Still tired, still foggy, still not quite yourself. If you're over 60 and you actually take care of yourself, this might be the most important video you watch this year. Because what I'm about to share doesn't apply to men who ignore their health. It applies specifically to men like you, the ones who are trying. And that's exactly why you need to hear this. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a urologist with 12 years of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their vitality, strength, and confidence. I've worked with thousands of men who thought their best days were behind them, men who were doing everything by the book and still hitting a wall. Today, I'm going to show you why that happens, and more importantly, what to do about it. Before we dive in, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one, and it genuinely helps me understand who I'm helping. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. There's a particular kind of frustration that belongs only to health-conscious men over 60. It's not the frustration of someone who never tried. It's deeper than that. It's the frustration of a man who gave up the late nights, cleaned up his diet, started walking every morning, maybe even quit drinking, and still wakes up feeling like he's running on half a tank. That frustration is real, and it has a name. I call it the effort gap, the painful distance between how hard you're working and how good you actually feel. And here's what makes it so cruel. The very habits that are keeping you alive may be masking signals your body is desperately trying to send you. Most men in this situation are making three invisible mistakes. Not bad habits, not laziness, invisible mistakes. The kind that fly completely under the radar precisely because they look like good choices on the surface. The first invisible mistake is optimizing for the wrong numbers. Gentlemen, I cannot tell you how many health-conscious men walk into my office proud of their cholesterol panel, their blood pressure, their resting heart rate, and completely unaware that their free testosterone is sitting at the floor. Total testosterone can look acceptable on paper, while free testosterone, the kind your body actually uses, is critically low. Think of it like this. Imagine your city has plenty of water in the reservoir, but the pipes delivering it to your home are clogged. The supply looks fine, but your faucet runs dry. Free testosterone is what drives your energy, your mental sharpness, your drive to engage with life. When it drops, you don't lose it dramatically overnight. It fades, slowly, quietly, until one day you realize you haven't felt genuinely motivated in months. You're not depressed, you're not sick, you're just dimmer than you used to be. That's the free testosterone signal, and a standard blood panel will miss it completely if your doctor isn't specifically looking. The practical step here is simple. At your next appointment, ask specifically for a free testosterone test alongside your total testosterone. Also ask for SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin, because high SHBG is often the reason free testosterone is low, even when total testosterone seems fine. Knowledge is the first step to reclaiming your vitality. I had a patient, Richard, 64, retired engineer, ran 3 miles every morning without fail. He came to me because he felt, in his words, competent but hollow. He was doing everything right and felt nothing. We ran a full panel. His free testosterone was in the bottom 15th percentile for his age. 3 months after addressing it, he told me, "I feel like I got my personality back." That's not unusual. That's what restoring the right hormone balance does. The second invisible mistake is under-eating protein while thinking you're eating healthy. This one surprises men every single time I bring it up. You switch to salads, you cut red meat, you're eating light, and your muscle is quietly disappearing. After 60, your body requires significantly more dietary protein than it did at 40, not less, to maintain the same amount of muscle mass. This is called anabolic resistance, and it means the muscle-building signal your body gets from protein becomes less efficient with age. So the same amount of protein that maintained your muscle at 45 is now insufficient at 63. Meanwhile, losing muscle doesn't just affect how you look. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It regulates blood sugar, supports testosterone production, protects your joints, and quite literally determines how independently you live as you age. Emotionally, this hits men hard when they finally understand it, because they feel the loss, the softer arms, the slower recovery, the fatigue after tasks that used to be nothing, but they've been blaming age, not a correctable deficit. Reclaiming muscle after 60 is absolutely possible, but you have to feed it correctly first. The practical target is 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. For a 180-pound man, that's roughly 130 grams of protein daily. Spread across meals with at least 35 to 40 grams at each sitting, because your body can only use so much at one time. Prioritize leucine-rich sources: eggs, Greek yogurt, salmon, chicken thighs, cottage cheese, and if you're resistance training, which I'll address in a moment, consume protein within 90 minutes after your session. The third invisible mistake is doing the wrong kind of exercise for your hormonal profile. Gentlemen, long, steady-state cardio, the hour-long walks, the slow jogs, the elliptical sessions is not bad for you. But if it's the only thing you're doing, you are leaving an enormous amount of vitality on the table. Resistance training, lifting weights, using resistance bands, body weight work with progressive challenge, is the single most powerful behavioral intervention for testosterone, growth hormone, insulin sensitivity, bone density, and cognitive function in men over 60. The biology is straightforward. When you place your muscles under load, you trigger a cascade of hormonal responses that no amount of cardio can replicate. Think of cardio as maintaining the engine. Resistance training is what upgrades it. The emotional component matters enormously here. Men who start resistance training after 60 consistently report something beyond physical changes. They report feeling capable again, purposeful. There is something deeply restorative about proving to your body that it still responds, still adapts, still grows. That experience, that feedback loop between effort and result, is something chronic cardio simply doesn't provide in the same way. The practical entry point is 2 to 3 resistance sessions per week, focusing on compound movements: squats, deadlifts, rows, presses. You don't need a gym, you don't need heavy weights, you need progressive challenge, meaning you slowly increase resistance over time. If you're new to this, start with a trainer for even 4 sessions to establish form. The investment returns tenfold. Robert, 67, came to me having walked 5 miles every day for 6 years. He was fit by any external measure, but he had the grip strength of a man 10 years older, low bone density, and the hormonal profile of someone sedentary. 8 months after adding 3 resistance sessions per week, nothing else changed. His testosterone markers improved, his bone density scan showed measurable gains, and he told me, "I feel stronger at 67 than I did at 57. That is not exceptional. That is what the science predicts." And number 4, this is the one most men overlook entirely, is sleep architecture. Not just sleep duration, but sleep quality. Specifically, deep, slow-wave sleep and REM sleep, which are the stages where testosterone is primarily secreted, growth hormone is released, and memory consolidation occurs. Many health-conscious men over 60 are sleeping 7 hours and still waking unrestored because the architecture of their sleep has degraded. Less deep sleep, more fragmentation. Sometimes undiagnosed sleep apnea quietly destroying hormonal recovery every single night. The result looks like low testosterone, looks like cognitive fog, looks like low motivation, because it is. Sleep deprivation and hormonal decline are not separate problems. They are the same problem expressing itself in different ways. Biologically, testosterone is primarily released during REM sleep. A single night of 5 hours of sleep can reduce testosterone levels by 10 to 15%. Now multiply that by months or years of fragmented sleep. That is a profound, correctable deficit hiding behind what looks like normal aging. The practical protocol. Get evaluated for sleep apnea if you snore, wake frequently, or feel unrestored regardless of hours slept. Beyond that, consistent sleep and wake times, room temperature between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, no screens 45 minutes before bed, and consider magnesium glycinate at 300 to 400 milligrams before sleep. It supports deep, slow-wave sleep without dependency. Quick pause before we continue. If any of this is resonating, drop a comment with the word vitality. It tells me this content is reaching the right men. The fifth point is arguably the most underestimated: chronic low-grade stress and its effect on cortisol. You've managed your life well. You've handled pressure. You don't feel stressed the way you did at 45. But your body may still be running elevated cortisol, the stress hormone, due to inflammation, poor sleep, under-recovery, or simply the cumulative burden of decades of high performance. Cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. When cortisol stays chronically elevated, testosterone is suppressed. It's a biological priority system. Your body treats survival as more urgent than vitality. And the cruelest part is that health-conscious men who push hard, who exercise intensely, who stay busy, who maintain high standards, can inadvertently keep their cortisol elevated through overtraining and insufficient recovery. The restoration strategy here is deliberate recovery. 2 to 3 sessions per week of parasympathetic activation. Slow breathing, gentle stretching, walking in nature, meditation. Not as a luxury, as a physiological intervention. Men who add structured recovery to their training consistently show better testosterone levels, better sleep, and better performance than men who simply train harder. Here is your simple action plan. Step 1. Within the next 7 days, schedule a comprehensive blood panel that includes free testosterone, total testosterone, SHBG, cortisol, vitamin D, and a complete metabolic panel. You cannot optimize what you cannot measure. Step 2. Audit your protein intake for 3 days using any free tracking app. If you're under 120 grams daily, make that your first nutritional priority. Step 3. Add 2 resistance training sessions per week, starting this week. Even 30 minutes, even at home, begin. Step 4. If you snore or wake unrestored, ask your doctor about a sleep study. That one conversation could change everything. That's it. 4 steps. Completely actionable starting today. If you've been doing everything right and still feeling like something is missing, if you've been frustrated or quietly embarrassed that your effort isn't matching your results, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. Your body is not failing you. It is waiting for more precise support. The men I see transform most dramatically after 60 are not the ones who try harder. They are the ones who try smarter. They get the right information, they act on it consistently, and they stop blaming age for problems that have real, addressable causes. After 60, your body still responds. It still adapts. It still rewards the right inputs with genuine vitality. I see it every single week in my practice. The ceiling is higher than you think. If this video helped you, please like it. It genuinely helps this information reach more men who need it. Comment below with where you're watching from, or drop the word vitality if today's content hit home. Share this with a man in your life who takes his health seriously and deserves to feel the results of that effort. And subscribe for weekly content built specifically for men over 50 who refuse to settle. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, reminding you that after 50, vitality isn't lost, it's waiting to be awakened. Take care, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next one.